Good afternoon, welcome to Pike Creek Farm. My name is Renee and thank you for joining me today. I am going to make pear bread. It's a recipe that I found a few years ago and that we've adapted, that we enjoy a lot, something different. And I used to use pears that were getting overripe in it. But today I'm going to use my home canned brown sugar pears. They're just pears that I've used brown sugar instead of white sugar. They're really good with oatmeal. And so we're gonna make pear walnut bread using brown sugar pears that used 4-jar lids. I do have a discount code for 4-jar lids down below. And I've been very, very happy with them. Let me get you adjusted. Woo. That was fast. Okay. I love baking quick breads for treats and snacks. Usually I have the things in the pantry to make some version of it. And I do zucchini chocolate chip and banana, and all different ones, but this one we really enjoyed. So the first step is I'm gonna get my dry ingredients together and put them aside, then we'll do the wet and add them. This recipe makes one nice size loaf. The first thing we need to add is the flour, and we need 1.5 cups. So this is 1/2 cup. Put you up so you can see kind of what I'm doing. I'm just scooping out and into the 1/2 cup and then dumping it. So I need one more 1/2 cup. You don't want to compress it. So we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Then I'm going to add the spices into this. It calls for 1/8 teaspoon of ginger, ground ginger. And I know I got nutmeg out. Now I'm going crazy. It was my little container of nutmeg. Let me go look. Maybe I left it there. Okay, I got the nutmeg. I have moved it onto a different shelf. Don't ask me why. If this is your first time here at Pike Creek Farm, thank you so much for stopping in. I like to do videos on canning and cooking and baking and, you know, ways I used my canned goods. Then we need to add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I will put this recipe down below. You don't need any special equipment. You don't need a mixer to make this or anything, which is one of the things I like about quick breads. So we're going to blend that all up and set it aside. So now we're going to get our wet ingredients. We need 2 eggs. And these have been sitting out for a little bit so they're not cold from the refrigerator. I don't always do that. I know they recommend it, but a little bit of eggshell. That one broke funny. My fault. Okay, got that out. 2 eggs. And I'm going to give them a light mix before I add everything else. I find it's easier to do it that way. It is big bowl of Mexican vanilla and it was being stubborn. So we're going to put a teaspoon of vanilla in. Oops. was a little more than a half there. There's another half. I put a little more than 1 teaspoon. That's okay. So now I'm gonna mix these ingredients up. And to this, I'm going to add 2/3 a cup of sugar and 1/3 a cup of brown sugar. You can do all white sugar. I like to add some brown, and especially since I'm adding brown sugar pears. There's the white. And now the brown. Mix that up. Break up any big pieces of brown sugar. And now I am going to open up the pears. I need 1 cup of them cut up, so probably won't need this whole jar. I'll use the rest for breakfast or make some overnight oats or something using it. At least I hope I have some left. I won't be disappointed. But if we need them all, we will use the whole jar. I have a cake video where I use these pears too. It's upside down pear cake. And I'll link that recipe in here. Okay, so I do have a little left. Back to the bowl. I'm going to add the pears into that. I have my oven preheated on. I don't. I need to turn my oven on to preheat to 375. Now we're going to add in the dry. I like using the Danish whisk or whatever you call this thing. And you can cut your pears smaller if you want. I kind of like the size they are here, and they do dissolve a lot during the baking. But that is personal preference. Quick breads make nice presents too. This one would be nice at Christmas time, or to take to someone's house when you're going for dinner or to stay. And I'll add the rest. The recipe calls for 1 cup of nuts, which when I measured it out, that's quite a bit. So I might stop around a half. I do like nuts, but I don't want it to be just nuts, you know? So let's see how this haven't made this in a while. I used to get Misfits Market boxes, and I haven't had one in a while because I preserve so much food and we get it locally. But I would get beautiful pears in it, but we couldn't eat them all in time, so I was making this bread quite a bit. So I'm going to add about 3/4 of a cup. That looks good to me. We're going to spray the bread pan. Then put the batter in. You could double this recipe and make 2 loaves at once. You could make it into mini loaves. You could probably make it into muffins too. So there we go. This goes in the oven now for 50 minutes. So I'll bring you back when it's ready. Timer went off. You want to check it in the middle with a toothpick and it comes out kind of clean. I mean, it's basically clean. You don't want it to be dry. So there's like little crumbs on it. I don't like it to get too dried out. And this bread does get pretty brown around the edges. Probably the brown sugar adds to that. So I'm gonna get a cooling rack out just to make sure. And there is a piece of it. The outside gets kind of crunchy, I think, from the brown sugar. You can put cream cheese on it. You can put butter on it. My dad always put butter on any quick breads, or just eat it. Put the recipe down below. Here is the loaf. And if you like this video, if you push the like button, it really helps. And also, if you want to see more videos on baking and canning and cooking and vintage recipes and just what I do during the day here at Pike Creek Farm, subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you join me. So thank you, and see you next time at Pike Creek Farm. My coffee's ready, my bread's ready. I think it's afternoon snack time.